Hello, it's Health Coach Gayle, and I want to talk to you about redefining your relationship with sugar, whether it's breaking up with it entirely or just cutting back. I know a lot of people this time of year are interested in doing that, so wanted to just provide some guidance on how to do it. Just a quick overview of what's to come, a quick introduction, and then I'll talk to you about why you might want to cut back and then how to do it. I am Health Coach Gayle. I'm a ACE certified coach, American Council on Exercise. I'm certified as a whole health coach, a behavior change specialist, and a personal fitness trainer. I've been doing this work for 10 years now, and I'm so passionate about helping people be intentionally healthy. I primarily work with women in midlife and help them return to their happy weight, but it really is about so much more than losing weight healthfully. It's about being intentionally healthy and maximizing the quality of our years and pushing back on limitations in our health. So when we think about why we would want to be consuming less sugar, there are so many reasons to do this. But understanding your personal why, I think, is really important. And whenever I partner with clients for any kind of change journey, I start with this foundation because when we understand our mindset and our deep internal motivation for change, it really is a game changer for uh, making the change journey easier. Because instead of relying on willpower, when we know our why, or as I call it, our why power, it really is like rocket fuel for the journey. So when we think about why we want to cut back on sugar, there are many reasons. But if we think about, the how of it, really, it's really in everything. And it's coming at us from so many different directions, even in what we think of as healthy food, granolas, yogurt, and power bars. It's kind of crazy that, these foods that have these halo effects can be really sugar bombs. So you have to be really savvy about label reading because it is everywhere. But when we think about just navigating that, all the hundreds, there are nearly 100 different names for sugar. Being a label reader is really important. So understanding that the added sugar can come disguised in many different ways, and knowing that it's the added sugar that really is detrimental to our health. Um, the sugar that comes naturally from fruit is not harmful to us, and it's completely healthy to be eating fruit, and getting 2 servings a day is very healthy. I know a lot of people got confused about that with the popularity of the keto diet, but it's the added sugar that is detrimental. So I just want to be clear about that. But the ubiquitousness of the added sugar in our diet is just gone crazy ever since the low fat craze took hold in like the mid 70s. More and more sugar got dumped into our everyday food products. The typical American takes in 22 teaspoons every day. And most don't even realize they're getting that much because it's hidden in so many food products. But the healthy daily maximum amount to be taking in every day is 6 teaspoons for women, which translates to 24 grams of sugar. And for men, it's 9 teaspoons or 36 grams. But I highly encourage you not to be average and be taking in that 22 teaspoons. You can get that more than that in just drinking one 36-ounce regular soda. But getting back to the why of not taking in an average or more amount of sugar in a day, the reasons are different for everybody, but chronic illnesses, I believe, are probably high on the list for many people because it contributes to so many. But over time, it's our daily choices for self care that can reap dividends or really bankrupt us in our health. But whether it's type 2 diabetes, chronic inflammation that can be the outcome of taking in too much sugar, heart disease, even dementia risks skyrocket with too much excess added sugar, and of course, excess pounds. So how do we push back against all of this? Well, there are a lot of ways we can do that. But building a foundation of awareness is our number one tool, because without awareness, change really isn't possible. But you're here and you're watching this video, so I'm jumping to the conclusion that you have some awareness that maybe you're taking in too much and that you do want to change. So you're in a great place to launch. But understanding what triggers you is important, and what leads you to a place of maybe wanting to eat when you're not hungry, or being triggered by what I call the sugar monster is important. So that's can be another conversation. I'd love to chat with you about it. It can be different for everyone, whether it's an environmental thing, an emotional thing, or maybe a physiological thing, something that maybe is related to your hydration, or blood sugar, or it could even be sleep related. But something that you can ask yourself is what you do when the sugar monster starts to grab a hold of you, how you respond. Because there are a lot of different tactics you can take in that moment, whether it's actually a proactive response or a reactive. There are a lot of different ways we can approach it. And I would love to be your encourager and guide in that. But being more mindful and knowing those triggers, and it's different for everybody. I mean, there are a lot of commonalities, but understanding that and learning how to rewire and unlearn and relearn, it's absolutely possible. But sugar lights up our brains like opioids do. It's absolutely there are so many parallels, and so it can be a challenging thing to shift, but it's possible. But if we just break it down to the kind of science of things, looking at nutrition labels and being better informed is helpful. So becoming a label reader is one step in the process. And so being a good educated consumer. So when we look at a label and looking at the line about added sugars, well, it's broken down to total sugars, and then it'll break it out to tell you how many is added sugars and what is naturally occurring. But if you look at the added sugar line, and you know that anything in a single product that is over 7 grams of added sugar, anything 7 or more is considered excessively sugary. But you have to consider that what is a serving size. So this is important, because this can be that's not standardized for any product. So, if you're looking at an ice cream, for example, one manufacturer may say half a cup is a serving size for ice cream, or for a granola it could be a third of a cup, which is for most people not realistic. So you have to consider what is realistic for you. And if you're a person who would typically eat, for example, a cup of ice cream, then you need to double the amount of sugar and know that that's what you would typically take in. So if you're comparing labels and the amount of sugar, know that anything over 7 in a serving size would push you into the excessively sugary category, and you might want to consider a different product. And that, again, is per serving. And looking for naturally sweet substitutes is always a good idea. And there's so many products available now, and we can always be looking at making our own products as well. I happen to have a guidebook, an ebook I created. Please reach out to me if you'd like it. I love sharing it. It's called Sweet Tooth Satisfaction. and it's filled with recipes, really easy, simple ingredients, whole foods that are delicious and nutritious and filled with naturally occurring sweet whole foods, things that you can make using dates and bananas and things like this. And um, so getting the natural sweetness without added sugar. So baking and or just turning to these things to satisfy your sweet tooth naturally whole without even actually making something is always a good option. And I want to just highlight this one client friend. Lauren was someone who shed 58 pounds by partnering with me. And I love this quote from her. She just got busy with life and kind of mindless with her habits and just kind of quietly put on excess pounds. She was somebody who loved to bake, and those pounds came on not suddenly, but just sort of quietly over time. But what she reflected on about the process of partnering with me and shedding the 58 pounds was she was really surprised about how easily coaching helped her shift into a new level of awareness and shed the weight. So, but it really is small daily efforts that are our superpower. We don't leap tall buildings and move giant mountains, but it's with patience and consistency that we do things like shed that kind of weight. And one method that I share with all my clients that really helps them shift and learn moderation, especially with high calorie, low nutrient foods, is called the 3-bite method. And I love this because it allows us to have indulgent foods without feeling left out. So whether it's ice cream or something like that, um, we don't have to feel deprived. So it's like this. And it's based on real food science, and it is an axiom that we can live by. So when we want to hear the portion control alarm bells in our heads when we're eating those high calorie, low nutrient foods, and know that we always have a choice about whether we want to indulge or not. So if you do decide to have that piece of cake or the brownie or whatever it is, that's when we want to be really portion control savvy. And as I said, this method is based on food science that tells us that in the first 3 bites, we are going to get the most satisfaction possible. So it goes like this. First bite is your hello bite. All right. The second bite that we have, especially of desserts, would be really just totally savoring. And we want to have this bite and not have any distractions at all and just eat it very slowly and completely enjoy it with all of our senses. And know that the third bite, that after that, it's we're just going to push it away or throw it away. And that third bite is our so long bite, because after that, we're not going to get any more satisfaction than that third bite. So that's going to be the so long bite. So that is the 3-bite method. And Jean learned to use it in her journey to her happy weight. She shed 125 pounds partnering with me. And her quote here was, before Y-powered coaching, I'd wake up loathing myself and turn to chocolate to self-soothe. She had a habit of eating chocolate every day. But she learned to step out of that cycle, and now she craves fresh fruit and vegetables. And she's really proud of that. So way to go, Jean. You're amazing. You can see her before photo there. She was pretty unhappy when we first met. So the mantra that I love to use at the end of my coaching sessions with clients and groups is that together we can, because it's so much harder when we try and go it alone. If you'd like to have a conversation with me, no judgments, no cost, no obligation, reach out. I'm Health Coach Gayle, and take good care of you and keep being intentionally healthy. Bye now.